School districts across the region heightened security following a nationwide rumor of planned violence that spread on TikTok. KNEB.TV News starts right now.
From your trusted source for news in western Nebraska and eastern Wyoming, this is KNEB.TV News. Presented by Platte Valley Companies, premier provider of financial services.
Hello, I'm Ryan Murphy. This is KNEB.TV News, powered by Platte Valley Companies. Thanks for joining me. In our top story, there was an increased police presence at schools throughout Nebraska, including here in the Panhandle, following a national social media trend of individuals posting that they had heard rumors of planned violence taking place at schools across the nation to be taking place on Friday, December 17th. Local school districts were alerted to this from the Nebraska Information Analysis Center. Scottsbluff Superintendent Dr. Andrew Dick says Scottsbluff Public Schools and Scottsbluff Police Department have not received any specific reports targeting our schools, but SPPS continues to work closely with the local law enforcement to fully investigate any reports or concerns, and during this time, they remain especially vigilant with increased police presence monitoring the schools. On Thursday evening, many other school districts, including Gering, Alliance, and Morrill, announced similar messages to their districts. Well, the director of Panhandle Public Health District is among 3 people selected to serve on the board of directors of the Nebraska Community Foundation. Kim Engel was selected last month, along with Karina Perez and Beth Rofels, by a unanimous vote of existing board members. Jeff Yost, the president and CEO of Nebraska Community Foundation, said the new board members each represent diverse geographies, life experiences, and professional areas of expertise. Yost says they also share the foundation members' passion for and the devotion to the NCF's mission of building stronger communities and a greater Nebraska. To learn more about the work and mission of Nebraska Community Foundation, you can visit their website at nebraskahometown.org. We'll have more news right after this.
At Platte Valley Bank, you don't have to be like a tortoise and carry your home on your back. They have mortgage experts that can help you finance the home that's perfect for you. Whether you're a first-time home buyer looking for your next home or simply want to refinance the home you're in, the experienced lenders at Platte Valley Bank are there to help. Contact them at pvbank.com or call and visit with one of the mortgage experts to take advantage of great rates at Platte Valley Bank.
Life Care promises us that we are looked after and taken care of properly.
If I didn't have Life Care, I would be probably scared to death about having enough money for when I got older or when I got sick.
Moving in here was an easy decision and, in fact, a no-brainer. I looked at it as actually buying long-term care insurance, and in retrospect, a good move.
One of the things that convinces me that we did the right thing is no matter what happens, we will constantly be taken care of.
The whole thing is just vital because you don't have to be worried about what's ahead for you. It's there, it's in black and white, and that's reassuring.
This is home. It has been from the day I moved in.
Welcome back. A fundraiser started by a downtown Scottsbluff business to help people show support for local law enforcement generated a lot of interest and a sizable donation to the Scottsbluff County Volunteer Center. Scottsbluff Screen Printing presented a check for just under $2,000 to Volunteer Center representatives this week from the proceeds of selling the We Support Law Enforcement Thank You for Your Service yard signs, which started in late July. Volunteer Center Shanna Halstead told KNEB News that she was honored that their agency was selected and called the donation a blessing for which she and the volunteers were very thankful. She says the money will go towards programs including Meals on Wheels, shopping for seniors, commodities, and snow angels. Well, an Alliance High School grad will be giving a commencement speech to her peers at UNK today. Grace Tolstead says she has no idea who nominated her to speak at the winter commencement ceremony, but says it's an honor. Tolstead has made the most of her time at UNK, and today she'll graduate summa cum laude with a 3.98 GPA with a bachelor's degree in criminal justice with minors in poli-sci and public law. She'll go to Sioux City to work at a law firm where she had an internship before heading off to law school in the fall. And the current surge in virus cases in Nebraska continues to send more people to the hospital and put stress on the state's healthcare system. Health officials said yesterday that they are already concerned about hospital capacity and the spread of the new OMICRON variant of the virus, which could make the situation much worse. Nebraska confirmed 6 cases of the OMICRON variant earlier this month, and state epidemiologist Dr. Matthew Donahue said 1 new possible case was being investigated on Thursday. Infectious disease expert Dr. Angela Hewlett said hospitals are close to having to ration care. The number of people hospitalized with the virus remains near the highest level since the vaccines became available last December at 602. Well, coming up after the break, Bill Boyer in with your weekend weather forecast. You'll have that right after this on KNEB.TV News.
Logos in Gearing is the place to get all of your school spirit gear, personalized gifts, and promotional items for your business and employees and banners for any special event. Logos is also the only place to stop for custom screen printing or embroidery. You can even design it yourself on their interactive website. Stop into Logos today. They'll design it, print it, and have it to you in no time. There's no job too big or small for Logos. That's Logos in Gearing.
What a year 2020 was. Now's the time to get out and travel this summer to see family and friends you were not able to see this last year. Spend more time enjoying your trip by flying United Airlines, operated by SkyWest with daily flights to and from Denver. Reserve your flight today and remember United miles can be earned and redeemed with your flights. While at the airport, stop and enjoy authentic Italian food at ROMA Italian Restaurant. And don't forget, Thrifty Car Rental is here for your car rental needs. Make life easier, relax, and hitch a ride with your BFF, Western Nebraska Regional Airport.
This is KNEB.TV weather from the KNEB Storm Center, your trusted source for weather.
All clear across the area as we go later on into the evening. We'll have a few clouds around. Can't even rule out a flurry. That's about it. But boy, look at those temps tomorrow morning when you wake up into the single digits. It's going to be cold tonight. Milder, especially for Sunday. We have a cool day Monday, and then most of next week looks mild. Okay for Christmas. There's some disagreement on some of the models. The consensus, though, is maybe conditions going to stay okay through Christmas. 46 yesterday for our high. That's a couple of degrees above normal. Right about normal for the month in precip. We've had a 1/4 of an inch. We don't get a lot in December. We're going to end 2021 probably 3 or more inches in the hole for the year. That cold air is not far off. Boy, you could tell where that jet stream is dropping down and bringing those cold temps with it. And we're going to see those cold temps plummet to the south here across the area. Look at these temperatures right now. We're mostly in the 20s, in some teens. The colder air just off to the northern portions of the region, 12 in Lusk, 15 right now in Gordon. Winds are still 10 to 20 miles an hour. It was pretty breezy today. We've got gusts 25 to 30. And look at these wind chills right now. Burr. We are below zero in many locations, single digits and teens elsewhere. A chilly night for sure on this Friday evening. Again, a few clouds, a few flurries and snow showers early. Those slide out, clearing skies overnight. We're going to be left with clear skies. That is going to allow the temps to fall. We could see a few areas get down to zero or even close to below zero. Most of us going to dip down into the single digits overnight. Now tomorrow, it is going to be sunny pretty much all day long. That'll help conditions feel warmer. It also won't be as windy. That'll help conditions feel warmer. But it's still going to remain pretty chilly out of northwesterly flow tomorrow. And we start the weekend before Christmas off with cool temps, 30s to near 40 out here. Some areas not getting out of the 20s from Ballantyne over towards Gordon. Nothing really coming in the way of precip or snow over the course of the next 24 to 36 hours. So our forecast has some clouds early, mainly clear overnight, 7 for your low. Tomorrow, sunshine out there. How about 40 degrees for the high? It's going to be cool, but otherwise not bad at all. Sunday looks great, highs in the mid-50s. Little system comes through, drops us back down into the 30s for Monday. First day of winter officially arrives on Tuesday. We're in the mid-50s. Wednesday as well. Right now, Thursday and then Friday, Christmas Eve, still keeping dry conditions out there. Temps in the low to mid-50s. We'll definitely keep an eye on that Christmas forecast and bring that to you early next week.
Welcome to Kelly's, home of the Valley's best selection of wine, spirits, and beer. Whether you're brand loyal to the tried and true brew or really enjoy trying something different and new, Kelly's has something for everyone. Family owned and operated and right on your way on West 27th Street in Scotts Bluff. Kelly's Liquor. If you can't find it at Kelly's, it's not worth drinking.
Who is Hydrotex? Hydrotex manufactures and distributes over 300 different high-performance lubricants, including fuel conditioners, hydraulic and transmission fluid, and more. We've been helping customers improve their operations for more than 80 years with products made in the USA. We sell directly to customers and can even deliver right to your door to offer excellent service and value. Our products are made to exceedingly extend drain and grease intervals to reduce maintenance and labor costs to improve the budget. Whether you're in a factory, farm fleet, or like to go fast, Hydrotex is here to help. Visit your local Hydrotex dealer in person or online today.
The Evergreen Credit Card by FNBO. Earn unlimited 2% cash back on every purchase. Every day. Everywhere. Never worry about expiring points or category restrictions. Plus, there's no annual fee. Only from the Great Big Small Bank. A bank ever ready for you to earn more, wherever life leads. Evergreen by FNBO.
This is KNEB.TV Ag News from the FNBO Ag Desk. FNBO, the Great Big Small Bank.
Welcome to this week's Cattle Call. I'm Susan Littlefield. Another interesting week, but the biggest question is, have consumers finally put up their hands and said enough is enough? We're not going to pay these prices at the meat counter. And if so, what does that mean for backup of product? We are slowly, or maybe very quickly, you want to look at it, winding down to 2021. And having said that, with just a few short weeks left, are we just going to kind of see a stalemate or a quietness to this cash trade? And what's going to happen when we hit the new year? We're going to look at that and a whole lot more with Brad Koima. He joins us. He's with Koima and Varlick out of Sioux Center, Iowa. And Brad, before we start this, I got to say I'm really glad that so many producers ended up safe from that storm system that moved through Colorado into Nebraska and Iowa. We saw some damage, but it looks like from a livestock producer side, we're going to be okay.
Yeah, no kidding. I was actually at a Iowa Cattlemen's Association meeting yesterday all day in Altoona near Des Moines, and the same things we kept talking about there. And then watching, I'm a bit of a business partner in a feed yard in Wisner, and there was really a hot spot between there and West Point, I'm told too, huh?
Yeah.
You get caught up in worrying about whether the cash cattle are $1 or $2 higher, right, or not. And I'm glad too. That sounds like, and if that's not the case, I hope that nothing was seriously done. But I'd say we maybe came through this one maybe better than expected. At least the way that forecast sounded for a while. It was pretty whippy. I drove home last night. It was a little breezy, I'll guarantee you, on Interstate 80. Whoa.
It was crazy. Are we seeing pushback from these consumers finally to say enough is enough on prices?
Yes. And I guess I want to be careful to be clear. It isn't as though demand and our whole, fundamental core demand has all of a sudden changed. But what did happen, I believe, is the wholesaler, whatever, raise prices, and you had some places where ribeyes in a big box store type thing were $23, $24, $5, $6 a pound, and you finally found out where the consumer said that's whoa, and so you had some backup. You've got a product that has just got a limited amount of shelf life. This isn't a barrel of crude oil, and this isn't a bushel of corn where it's a storable deal. It's only storable for a short time. So what happened there, and I think we're on the back end of it really. I think that we're on the low side of the cam here. So that's why the large reason why the box beef broke, and that's a large reason why those primal cuts really had a sharp break. But it seems like now in the last couple of days already, it's starting to stabilize at lower levels, and they're finding out that the consumer's happy to come back. And if everybody's are $9.95, there's still a good market for it. So, kind of the function of the market, some of the not so much fun part of it if you're in the middle of that. But I'm not going to send out any sympathy cards to any commercial or wholesaler that hasn't been able to make a living this year. He's just fine.
Well, having said that, the cash market, we saw it back off again a little bit this week. Is that momentum going to continue?
Well, I hope not. I was a little disappointed that guys gave up so easily last week at the end of the weekend, this week on the cash. I think some of this is tied to basis, December cattle, price where they are. You're looking at a zero basis or maybe even an inversion where you can cover your hedges if you're a hedger. Below where the cash market was. I think there was also a part of willingness on the part of some producers to try to sell the cattle to get some income on this year. Frankly, the business of feeding cattle this year has not been very good for most. And, from a tax incentive standpoint, there is some reason to try to sell some cattle here and get it on this year's business. Having said that, I think the other part of that, probably, Susan, is a little bit the kill capacity that we're going to be looking at here the next couple of weeks too.
Where are we at when it comes to that capacity? Our packers, do they have enough in the coolers at this point?
Well, I think, in terms of strictly the capacity question, I couldn't help but notice here just a little bit ago when the data that comes out that's 13 days old, we talk about what the average weights are, but there's a ton of slaughter data and detailed data in that report. and what I thought was interesting, this last one that came out this morning, was actual slaughter for the week ending December 4, I believe, was 682 some odd thousand, 682. I mean, that is an enormous number. And it was actually about 4,000 more than what the daily estimates were. So this whole problem that we talked about over and over until we were ready to puke about how we're not getting enough cattle dead and nobody shows up and we don't have daycare and nobody has a place to live and whatever else, it was every excuse after another for not killing. Those seemingly have been magically resolved. So in terms of kill capacity, I'm very encouraged. As far as your question about backlog, I don't think that there's a large backlog of beef. In fact, if there is some in inventory, it's because the business, in fact, for next year, we're told is starting out really good. We talked a little bit about this paradigm of how we use our meat, restaurants or at home, and that shifted quite a bit with the COVID thing where people were staying home. And that's not negative because generally consumer habits, you'll eat a lot more of it at home than you do at a restaurant setting, right? And it's a lot cheaper, of course. So unless something really changes, I'm not really worried at all about either domestic or global demand.
So what are we going to look pretty much at a slower though kill process the next 2 weeks because of the holidays?
Yes, I think you got 2 weeks here of traditionally this is when we used to go crazy trying as a broker to try to trade futures. The market doesn't have a lot of sense to it, it seems like, or direction. You've got a trade now that, of course, that's dominated by these funds. I think the funds have been the sellers the last 3 days here. They've had a nice run here, a nice rally on the cattle. They want to count some money, end of the month, end of the quarter, end of the year stuff. So the market's still vulnerable, I think, to some of that liquidation kind of trade and that choppiness, just the light volume of it. I'm hoping that the worst of this softness in the cash maybe is done. I really love the technical action today. Feb cattle went down almost exactly to the tick of 50% retracement of this last rally. That's a traditional spot for you to look for support. It held and then it come back and closed $1.25 off the lows. So, I would think we'd be a little better tomorrow and finish the week on a little better note.
All right, as we wrap it up, are we going to see some good demand? You kind of alluded to it as we head towards the new year. What are we thinking?
Well, I sure look for it, and I think the ability to get cattle dead to feed the engine, that is extremely good demand. Typically, that accelerated demand will stay. You're going to kind of about mark it on your calendar, 10 days to 2 weeks ahead of the Super Bowl, and then maybe you go into this different kind of doldrum. But Also keep an eye on the weather. As that weather seems to be shifting around to more like winter, that's a little friendly too. So I'm not bearish here. I think the market is poised to do pretty good things in the first quarter next year.
All right, we'll look forward to talking to you next week, right ahead of Christmas.
Sounds good.
All right, Brad Coim has been joining us, and as always, commodity futures and options do involve a substantial risk of loss and are not suitable to all investors. That is this week's Cattle Call. I'm Susan Littlefield.
The Evergreen Credit Card by FNBO. Earn unlimited 2% cash back on every purchase. Every day. Everywhere. Never worry about expiring points or category restrictions. Plus, there's no annual fee. Only from the Great Big Small Bank. A bank ever ready for you to earn more, wherever life leads. Evergreen by FNBO.
Well, let's take a peek at what's happening on your weekend community calendar. The Community Calendar is brought to you by Riverstone Bank. First State Bank is now Riverstone Bank. Community strong with the same people you know and trust.
Find out what convenient really means at the Western Travel Terminal. Start with our great selection of food and drinks, from for real milkshakes and fresh brewed coffee to snacks and hot food. Next, check out our beer and spirits with their everyday low prices. Finally, let us work for you with our full-service gas station and automatic truck and car wash. All this can be found at 822 South Beltline in Scottsbluff. Western Travel Terminal, your convenient shopping, restaurant, and full-service gas leader.
Why bank at a local community bank? When you choose a local community bank, you keep money in our local economy. That money helps support local jobs, schools, and businesses. Money that helps fund a stronger and prosperous community for us all to enjoy and live in. At Platte Valley Bank, we are here to help build and support the community we love being a part of. We believe that together, we can make great things happen. Platte Valley Bank.
And finally tonight, after a one-year hiatus caused by the pandemic, a popular downtown Scottsbluff attraction is back up and running. The Black Hills Energy Ice Skating Rink is again open to the community for public use during normal business hours. This new addition to the 18th Street Plaza includes benches for folks to sit down and lace up their skates, hay bales to ensure that nobody goes crashing through past the ice, and plenty of free parking just east of it on First Avenue. Groups can also host fundraiser events and man the skate rental booth. Interested parties can call the City of Scottsbluff at 630-6235. Skate rentals are not available unless a group is hosting such an event. Well, that does it for us this time. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will be taking a little more than a week off to spend time with the family, so have a very Merry Christmas, and I'll see you back here later this month.